Thompson had a violent childhood, doing medical school training and continual fascination with death. Thompson's life and verse reflect his downward drug-induced spiral into vagrancy. In 1888, Thompson was suicidal, in possession of a dissecting scalpel. Having failed in his attempt for the priesthood, he had trained as a surgeon for 6 years. After drifting through London a homeless man for 3 years, he was then living in what is now called Tower Hamlets. It is in this borough that the murders occurred. The murder centred on the borough's district of Whitechapel, where Thompson would visit while he was living at the West India Docks in the nearby Blackwall district. His addiction to opium was constant for the past decade. During the murders, he was seeking out a prostitute for whom he had a fancy. Upon meeting Thompson, she vanished, and he became delirious. Thompson's writings are filled to the brim with allusions to the occult and murder. He possessed the necessary skills, a dissecting knife, and was near to the murders, consorted with prostitutes. He would have hardly been able to furnish an alibi, and he harboured a possible motive. Finally, his age, childhood, social background, and lifestyle parallel the profile of serial killers as prescribed to by the FBI and the CID. (1888) was the height of the Victorian Age. More books have been written. More films have been made about Jack the Ripper than any other Victorian. The Victorian Age? No, the Ripper Age. It is written. The shortest way of describing the Victorian Age is to say that Francis Thompson stood outside of it. In 1997, he first got into the papers as suspected of being Jack the Ripper, with an apocalyptical motive. He was named after St. Francis of Assisi. This 13th century Italian saint is believed by Catholics to have been able to fly and to show signs of the stigmata, the name for bleeding from 5 wounds. Like Jesus Christ, the constant pain took 2 years to kill him. Francis Thompson wrote about this. The pain of his stigmata was agonizing, but was accompanied by a sweetness so intense as made it ecstatic to him. Pain may be made the instrument of joy. To honour him, the Basilica of St. Francis was built. Within the church are 13th century frescoes about it. Of the 28 panels painted in 1300 by the artist Giotto, was one so dark it took a disaster to be uncovered. Panel 20 focuses on the death of St. Francis. It shows the Requiem Mass being held, and his soul rise into heaven. In the same year, Francis Thompson was named a suspect. An earthquake struck the church. As restorers and priests were examining the frescoes, there was an aftershock, in which 4 people were killed. A survivor working on panel 20 saw the devil in the details. A face was found in the clouds. It was once believed that the devil was a horned, winged beast, like in this 13th century fresco. It is not by accident that a similar thing was depicted years ago in a film trilogy called The Omen. In it, 2 archaeologists are killed by an earth tremor. They are crushed to death by falling masonry.
Emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eye.
Having just found out from a 13th century fresco who the Antichrist is. In the early medieval period, Satan was thought to hide in the clouds trying to catch the souls of the dead. For so long he has been hidden, even though the Bible so clearly tells us who he is. In Revelations 13, 15, 18 we can read where and when he will rise, for he is known by his number. He is known for his mark. Where, in 1666, the Great Fire of London, when, 1888, Jack the Ripper,
come back to tell you all, I shall tell you all.